Hey, how's it going, guys? This is John from UDS with another edition of UDS Interviews, our series where we chat to interesting people from around the world. Now, my guest this week is a band who are destined to be on your summer playlist, providing the perfect soundtrack to lazy days at the beach or sun-soaked road trips. Here to talk all about their upcoming album, it is my pleasure to introduce Jack and Christian of arguably the most handsomest band performing today, Lovebreakers.
That's probably one of the best intros we've had.
Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag not sponsored. Guys, how's it going?
Good, man. All the better now that the weather's good and it's starting to feel like summer. Yeah. So
That's it. I mean, with all the the other shit that's happened in the world, the weather does have like a massive effect on the way you feel, and everything does seem that little bit better when the sun's out.
Yeah, man, that's it, man. You want to get out after you've had a day's work and just get some fresh air, and yeah, it's really good, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, we're going to talk about music in a little bit, but before we get to that point, I need to get to know the real yous. And the way I like to get to know my friends a little bit better is asking the hard-hitting questions, so get ready. And that is, if each of you individually was a type of sandwich, what kind of sandwich would you say best represents you as a person?
Jack, you go first.
Oh, is that because you're thinking about your answer?
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is going to be my answer, right? Every time I have a sandwich from Tesco, I have the chicken and stuffing sandwich. And I think I'm probably turning into one by the amount that I've had over the years. So that is going to be my answer. It's got no meaning at all, just because I eat loads of them.
Fair enough, fair enough. What about you, Christian?
Probably a jam sandwich.
Oh, interesting choice.
Yeah, because I'm quite jammy. I've sort of winged my way through life up until this moment. I'm not really good at anything, not even the bass guitar. I don't know how I'm playing in a really good band on bass, but yeah, I guess I'm quite jammy. So that'd be my answer, because I've sort of winged everything up until this moment in my life.
I fully maintain winging it is a skill. It is a fine art to be able to wing your way through life, and you can never go wrong with a jam sandwich. Any particular type of jam, I have to ask?
I like strawberry jam.
Solid choice. Very summery, very fitting for the weather. But yeah, I mean, you both sound delicious. I remember as a teenager working in Primark, finishing my shift at 3 p.m. and then going straight to Sainsbury's for a chicken and stuffing sandwich. So it's a sandwich that has a special place in my heart, and I'm sure many people listening. But anyway, I could talk about sandwiches all day, as you can probably tell, but you are here to talk about music, and that is your debut album, Primary Colours, is out in just over a week, dropping June 25th, if I've got my dates right.
Yeah.
Nice one. So, first of all, would you mind just telling us a little bit about what to expect from it?
Yeah,
I think a really sort of positive album of like just something that you can just play in the sunshine, man. Like, we recorded it in LA, and it's something that we're really proud of. It's our debut record, a lot of energy, a lot of sort of hooks and everything that you're going to be singing it for like weeks on end, because we were. And yeah, man, I think just really exciting times for the band.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to say recording in LA, because you did it in 2019, wasn't it? That you were out there. Must have felt like a lifetime ago, and it's probably a good job it was then, because now it'd probably be Oldbury or somewhere like that with all the lockdowns and everything like that.
You're right. Yeah, you know what? It sort of gave the whole thing like a bit of a new meaning as well, because obviously March 2019 we were out there for a month recording it, and then obviously it gets sent off to get mixed and get mastered. So we had like the whole thing done probably like the end of August, September, and then you start planning, well, who's going to release it? And then we had the Social Distortion tour confirmed for 2020. We were going to be releasing the album alongside that. So it was all sort of perfect. Everything was falling into place perfectly, and then the sky fell with the pandemic, and like it almost feels to me like that moment when we were recording the album was like the last really exciting moment of my life that I can remember, because after March 2019, we we were obviously all broke. We didn't get to go on fucking holiday and shit because we'd been out to LA for a month, and we were just working our asses off in our jobs and sort of getting ready to push the record. And so yeah, like the record now, sort of like whenever I think about it or hear it, it's always like that was the last great moment of my life. Really, it sounds a bit cheesy, but yeah, like that's how I sort of remember it, like being in LA and like recording an album with my friends, and the sun was out, there's palm trees everywhere. We just had a really good time, and obviously then like nine months later, well, 12 months later, the pandemic hit. So the album sort of takes on a whole new meaning because of that for me personally.
Yeah, I think like it's sort of the definition of never take anything for granted, man. Because like that was the last sort of time as well we had as a band, sort of doing something, exciting. Like so COVID.
I guess in a sense it does become like that time capsule of a different time, both in your lives and I guess in sort of just the world in general. And I suppose there's something, as much as sort of it sucks that the world's gone the way it has, but it must be nice to always know you have this little memento of this amazing time in your lives. Yeah,
I think as well, like you said, time capsule there. I think the songs themselves are like really sort of timeless as well. So like it captures like a moment in time that was like really special and really, great. It was like the weather was like this every day. It was hot. It was lovely. But also the songs, I think, will be like songs that you can listen to in like 10, 20 years time. And for me, I personally think they'll still stand up because the lyrical content's great and the songs overall are just, they're not like fitted into like a specific like genre that lasts like 5 minutes. Like I remember like late 2000s, there was like a load of pop punk bands doing like songs with like beat downs and stuff. And that was cool for all of 5 minutes, and then no one cares now. And that's not me hating on any bands, but like that's just the reality of it. And I think like the best music and the best bands, the best songs stand the test of time, and all our favourite artists are exactly that. Like we grew up like listening to like the Clash, Tom Petty, the Replacements, and like even like some of the newer stuff like Green Day and bands like that. They still sound as great today as they did, in the 90s or the 80s. So
absolutely there's still a reason these songs get played in like rock clubs and between sets at shows all the time, because they are the ones that doesn't matter the generation, they're gonna resonate. And I definitely think that this album is in that same mold. So you mentioned, speaking of sort of the timelessness, you mentioned that the single Laura, who was it that called it the Stranger Things song or the Stranger Things single?
Yeah, man. So this was the riff in the song Laura. We had that as a demo for like years when we like first started the band, when we was a 3-piece actually. And, it was when Stranger Things like first come out, the TV show. Yeah. Like damn, this riff, it, like the way it sounds, it could be in that show. And like we always sort of sat back on it and never pursued it and wrote a song about it. And then when we were sort of demoing the record, we sort of went back to old sort of ideas that we had, and we was like, we've got to do this Stranger Things song somehow, we've got to get it in, and then that's when sort of Laura was born, really.
It's that like it's like we wanted with that song for it to capture like that sort of you're in like a shopping mall in the 80s in the arcade with your friends, and like you're young and everything's like there's neon lights everywhere, and exactly like the Stranger Things series, really. And the soundtrack on those shows are absolutely fantastic, and like they really make you feel like you're watching something that's set at that time, like the 70s or 60s, 80s, whenever it was. You feel like you're in that moment, and that riff, like to me, when I heard it, I was like, that's really timeless, and like it's cool, man. It really reminds us of that show, The Stranger Things. We could imagine it being we can imagine them being in the arcade playing and that the aliens running around and that song being in the background. Like,
absolutely, yeah. As soon as I read the little thing, it just clicked in my mind, and I went, "Yeah, that's exactly where it belongs." But in the similar vein, I have to ask: here at UDS, we don't just talk about music; we talk about everything pop culture. So we do talk TV shows, movies, video games, everything and more. So with that in mind, if you could have one of your songs featured in anything at all, nothing off the table, what would it be?
Mine would probably be something to do with football. I'm football mad. So, like, you know, like one of like the main songs at like the Euros or like the World Cup or something. Because I know at the moment it's some stupid DJ pressing the play button. So I'd rather it be like a band just rocking out. Absolutely. So that would be mine. It's like something worldwide or European that just like pushes the band. So it'd be like a big like football tournament for me.
Who's your team?
I support Aston Villa. But I currently support England.
Fair enough. I'm the other Clarets. I'm West Ham. So, yeah, it was a pretty decent season for both of us last year.
Yeah, man, done really well. Like, I think, you know, if I put my hand on my heart, we probably both overachieved, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Sort of us to finish where we did, and obviously you've done really well under David Moyes, so it's a good time to be a Hammer.
That's it, and it's coming home this summer, so what more could you want? By the time this goes out, we probably would have crashed out, but right now it's coming home. Anyway, Christian, what would you have one of your tracks featured in?
Probably, a lot of Stranger Things, just something really big on Netflix, like something that like takes you into like a moment in time. I love that whole series 1, 2, and 3. Thought they were fantastic. There's loads of other cool series that I watch as well. Like I really like the Mandalorian. I love anything Star Wars. Like absolutely fantastic. But obviously they have their own sorts. They don't really have artists on there. But maybe if like the Mandalorian's flying with Grogu or Luke Skywalker flying with Grogu in the X-wing or in the Mandalorian ship, maybe like Grogu could click play and then like Primary Colours comes on and like that, that'd be next.
that would almost be a little bit Guardians of the Galaxy mixed with Star Wars.
That would actually, yeah.
I could dig it. I tell you what though, this is going to like my nerd is definitely going to be showing right here. But an old Star Wars game called Republic Commando, which is one where you play as the clones. The band Ash did a song for the soundtrack to that, which they played in the credits. So it's not unheard of for bands to actually do songs for Star Wars. So I'm gonna start the work now to try and make this happen. We'll get the ground support, and there will be something. But anyway,
drop George Lucas an email for us, dude.
That's it. Old GL, get him on the blower, and we'll get it sorted. But anyway, while I'm working on that, obviously, in more immediate times, you've had some shows and some tours and some festival dates that have unfortunately been pushed back. But we're optimistic that it will happen at some point. It is a case of when rather than if. But what songs on the new album are you most looking forward to playing live?
It's quite a difficult question because we've sort of sat on these songs now for a good few years. But I think the title track, Primary Colours, like the single that's coming out soon, it's just a really sort of energetic stadium song. I can imagine it playing like it really sort of... it's just got so much energy to it, and every time we play it live, everyone's just sort of, even if they don't know the song, they sort of start supporting the band and go, yeah, like we're into it. And I think, and it starts off with me on the guitar, so it's a bit of a spotlight moment for me. So that's probably like one of my favourite songs, to be fair.
Love it. Yeah,
same for me, to be fair. Primary Colours and Worst Gentleman, like the last two tracks, we sort of play them together live in the same order as the record. And yeah, Primary Colours is like one of those, like halfway through the song, it drops out to Jack just with the guitar again, and dun, and like I've got like this vision of like Wembley and Jack stood on the monitor, and then when it kicks back in, like bam, 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 like place goes off. There's like people crowd surfing. You can dream big, can't you? So
absolutely.
So yeah, I'm really looking for. That's probably that and Worst Gentleman I love playing. So looking forward to playing them.
There you have it. By the end of 2022, this will be happening at Wembley, and also you'll be in Star Wars, and probably the Boys World Cup next year as well. We could do the triple threat next year. So there you go. It's all going to happen. It's all going to happen. But obviously that is, a given, and that will happen next year. But as best as you can, what does the rest of 2021 have in store for you guys?
I think the key is just to get as many shows booked as possible. So with the opportunity of, us coming out of lockdown and being sort of free spirits again, like we're looking at doing a headline show in our hometown, Birmingham, towards like the end of the summer, and then hopefully get some dates sort of around the UK. And then we've got like a big tour next year, obviously with Social Distortion in 2022. But I think for this year, I think it's we're back in like the studio, like recording loads of new demos and stuff as well. We're looking at recording our next record early next year, so that's something to work towards as well. So we've got a lot of things coming up, man.
Awesome. Exciting times. And we all look forward to that. But I have one last question for you now, and it is our traditional final question, and it's about as dumb as everything else I've asked you, so please bear with me. That is, we are UDS, which stands for Upside Down Shark. And don't ask me why we settled with Upside Down Shark. It's a name we thought up many years ago, and we're in way too deep to change it now. But be that as it may, guys, what are your favourite sharks? And they could be real, they could be fictional, so it could be a shark from a movie or a shark from real life. But what would you say your favourite shark is? I know, Christian, you were in a band that are called Sharks, weren't you?
Yeah.
So that's my favourite shark.
I know straight away which my favourite shark is. Did you ever watch Street Sharks?
I did, yes.
But the rollerblading sharks, they were badass. And I had all the action figures when I was a kid. I can't remember the characters' names. They were sort of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There was, I think, 3 of them. There's like, I used to love them, the Biker Mice from Mars and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But yeah, Street Sharks, man, because I loved rollerblading, and they were just like kicking ass on rollerblades. So
that's it. I've never seen sharks with 6 packs quite like that. They were some ripped sharks. But anyway, what about you, Jack?
It's a really niche question. It's a really niche question. I'd say something crazy like the shark from Sharknado. The Sharknado films. I just think that's absolutely mental that they've made. I think off the top of my head, they've made like 5 or 6 Sharknados, and people keep going to watch these silly films. Think, fair play. Like, there's a shark in a tornado. We'll call it Sharknado.
Absolutely. I mean, someone had to do it. Someone had to do it, and they've done it 6 times now. So there you have it. They are great shark choices. And guys, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, dude.
Cheers, man.
Got me love struck by